Hey guys, interesting job in the shock treatment workshop this morning. We have a young customer who is transitioning from a YZ65 up to a GASGAS MC85, and the problem that he has is the GASGAS is a little bit too tall for him. So what we need to do is we need to lower that bike. Now traditionally these things have got an air fork, and the air fork doesn't actually allow you to lower the fork in a conventional manner, and this is due to the little balance mechanism that they have on the inside of this cartridge. So generally if you want to lower this fork it can be done, but it means that you have to cut the actual rod and you make a permanent modification. And so when you do that, it's fine if you wish to do that, but when it comes back to restoring these back to normal height, you have to buy this brand new rod again and then replace it all. So it becomes a convoluted and fairly expensive exercise. What we're doing here is we are basically going to lower this fork. Now we're going to swap this spring leg out and we're going to put a conventional cartridge in here. Now we're using basically WP components. We're buying an additional cartridge. Okay, but what we're doing is we're installing basically a pro level bottom out mechanism that we've got in here, and we make these here at Shock Treatment. And so what we're going to end up with is a very conventional 2 cartridge fork, and we're going to go to a spring fork. So we're making that transition from air to spring. Now when we lower this fork, basically we make up a Delrin spacer. Delrin is an engineering plastic, and with the engineering plastic it's very lubricious. In other words, it causes no wear whatsoever, slides beautifully, but also it's very, very durable, it's chemical resistant, and it's highly temperature resistant, so it's an ideal material. Now what that'll mean is when that fork fully extends now, it will hit the spacer as opposed to hitting on that top out spring, so it will now control the length of the fork, and we're actually lowering this 20 millimeters. We're going to be lowering the shock 30 millimeters, but by lowering the fork 20 millimeters, we can achieve the same height, but maintain more travel simply by pushing the fork higher up in the triple clamps. So we'll run the forks 10 mils through and lower them 10 mils less than we lower the shock, and that maintains maximum fork travel and maximum control from the front end of the bike, which is super important. One of the things, as I said, with this bottom out mechanism, the hydraulic bottom out system that we've got here is far superior to what they had in the original fork. The original fork just had this plastic that used to slam into the top of the cartridge. Now we've seen these things broken before by aggressive riders, and so we want to get rid of this by putting a new system in there, by putting the hydraulic system in there, and we will machine our own bottom out system that fits neatly into the top of this chamber and brings the fork to a very, very nice resolution. It basically will give you a much nicer, much more controlled bottom out mechanism than we had before. And here's the deal, WP do make a replacement cartridge that you can buy. It works out about $2,300. Then you want to lower it, then you've got to install it, etc., etc. We're going to save our customer around $1,200 by doing this. He'll end up with a far superior fork than what came out of the bike, and he'll have extremely good ride quality. But beyond that, he now has the ability just to remove that space and restore the fork back to full height. So it's a technical job, but it's something that's well within our capabilities. It's going to exceed the capabilities of most shops, and basically most shops will tell you, hey, spend that extra $1,200 because you're making life easier for them. Here we'd prefer to understand the product at component level and be able to address it at component level. So this guy's going to end up with a far superior fork, greater adjustability, and a much, much nicer outcome both in performance and economics. Right, thank you.